Hi, this is Harold and welcome to the Sanctum. Now, in this particular video, I'd like to talk a little bit more about the moon. Now, in the previous video, I've spoken about the sun and the power of solar energy and how we can connect to the energies of the sun in order to improve our ability to manifest reality. And I've spoken a little bit more about the symbolism of the sun, but in this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the symbolism of the moon and why it is very, very crucial to be aware of the cycles of the moon, especially if you are to manifest successfully and efficiently. So first of all, what is the moon? In every tradition, the moon is seen as a great goddess. Now, the moon has three main aspects: what is known as the maiden, the mother, and the crone. If you look at the moon, we've got the new moon. That's almost like the birth of the moon, when it's in complete darkness and the least amount of the sun's light is being reflected from it. Then the moon starts to grow in size or grow in light until it becomes the full moon, and then it wanes, returning back to the new. So the growing moon is often referred to as the maiden, where the moon is now like a maiden, born and is growing. And when the moon is full, this is when it's at the peak of its power. That's called the mother. It's now ready almost to give birth, like a mother. And when the moon starts to wane, this is often known as the crone, C-R-O-N-E, the crone. This is when the moon's power begins to fade away in a certain sense, diminish in power. So the reason why it's important to be aware of this is, as I mentioned in the previous video, if the sun is related to the conscious mind, the conscious aspect of ourselves that emits light in a certain sense, the unconscious mind is related to the moon. If you even look at look into space itself and astronomy, the sun emits light and the moon absorbs some of this light and reflects the rest as moonlight. And we know that the moon also affects the world, just like the sun. We know if the sun disappears, everything in existence as we know it would disappear, because that sun's energy is so crucial and important to us. In the same way, the lunar energy is also very important to us. First of all, the moon affects the tides. It controls the rise and fall of water. Oftentimes, if anybody's been in a mental asylum, when the moon is full, you'll notice that people start to feel a little bit crazier than usual. The idea is that the moon enhances aspects of ourselves, especially when the moon is full. So this is why people are often known as, people who are a little bit crazy are called lunatics. Luna, moon, lunatic. So the moon has a very powerful effect and is related to the unconscious mind. Everybody knows that the moon also controls the menstrual cycle. So therefore is linked with motherhood and fertility. And most fertility deities in ancient times were related to the moon. That's why it's called the Great Mother, the Great Goddess. So therefore the moon also has the potentiality to give birth to that which we want to manifest in a certain sense. So this is why it's important to be aware of the moon cycle. The new moon, the waxing of the moon when it's growing in light, the full moon, and the waning of the moon when it's reducing in light. So, whenever we're about to manifest something, whether that's simply sending out a charged thought, whether that's carrying out an elaborate piece of work in order to bring about a change of reality, whatever it is that we're doing, if we are in alignment with the moon cycle, the chances of this particular thing manifesting is a lot higher, is a lot greater. So, there are many ways you can find out about the moon. There are all sorts of apps you can use to find out the phases of the moon. You can just go on Google and type out, go to timeanddate.com or something like that, and you can find out which phase of the moon that is happening right now in this moment. So, it's important to be aware of the phase of the moon. When it's a new moon, this is a great time to manifest something that you're about to begin. Let's say you're going to start a new project or a new business, or you're going to create something, whether that's a piece of music or a painting or something like that. Anything where you're starting something, it's good to do it on a new moon, because it symbolically is in alignment with the growing cycle, because the moon is growing in light, and that symbolically can help your project grow along with the phases of the moon. So anything to do with beginning something, you want to do it, it's highly favorable to do it when the moon is new. And when the moon is waxing, anything where you're trying to attract something into your life, it's a good period of time to do it. Right? Any form of manifestation where you're trying to bring something into your life, bring in wealth, bring in good health, bring in a specific relationship, bring in more clients, whatever this might be. Anywhere you're trying to bring in something, attraction, you want to do it when the moon is waxing. When the moon is full, that is when the moon is at its most power. So the likelihood of something manifesting increases when the moon is full, because that's when, in a way, the unconscious is most open, because once again the moon is related to the unconscious. So when the moon is full, it's almost like the eye of the unconscious is most open, is most wide open, so it's able to receive what you're trying to impress upon it a lot easier through your conscious will. So your conscious light, your conscious mind, that of the sun, is trying to impress upon the moon, which is ready to receive and give birth to that which you're trying to create. So now if the moon is waning, that doesn't mean you can't do anything. Yes, you can, because when the moon is waning, this is a good time to get rid of something. Let's say you want to get rid of a bad habit, you want to stop smoking, or you want to stop eating junk food, or you want to banish poverty, or banish habits that keep you stuck in a certain way of perceiving reality or being. This is a great time to do it. So depending on where the moon is, you can shift how you do your manifestation, or what your intention is when you're manifesting, and in that way you can create and manifest more efficiently according to the moon cycle. So in addition to this, it's important to be aware that there is another aspect of the moon which we call the void of course moon. So this is when the moon is shifting between astrological constellations in the sky, and when this is doing so, it becomes void of course. So when the moon becomes void of course, it's almost as if the unconscious is blind to what you're trying to impress upon it. So the likelihood of things manifesting at this particular point in time, if you try to manifest, is low. So it's very important to be aware of when the moon is void of course, and to avoid manifesting at this particular point in time. Now, there are ways in which you can be aware of when the moon is void in course. You can find an app, I think it's called Void of Course Moon, and that app can kind of let you know when the moon is void of course, and it's at this particular point in time where you do not want to carry out any form of manifestation, or you want to avoid doing it at this particular point in time, because the moon is void of course, and therefore it can block your manifestation from coming into fruition. So this is why it's very important to be aware of where the moon is in the sky. Now that we can go even deeper into this, if you want to even make it more powerful, you can even look at where the moon is situated in terms of the astrological sign. We will get more into this. I'll probably make a part 2 to this video where I talk more about the moon and astrological signs that it may be in and how that can affect your manifestation. So it's important to be aware of where the moon is at, and this can significantly improve your ability to manifest. So keep that in mind. If you're new to this channel, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and please click the bell icon, and hope to see you soon. Take care.